Hello and welcome back to the video on the rest debate and to Evolution 2025 out of 10. The women's division had a big night on Sunday with 5 title matches, a battle royal and a showcase in one of the bitterest rivalries across the entire roster, and obviously some legends returning as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. We started things off with a video package accompanied by Casey Perry song, followed by Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon talking about the show as Lynch defended the women's IC title against Valkyrie and Bayley. The crowd gave them a standing ovation before the action got started. Bayley took Lyra down before she and Lynch started trading offense. They immediately turned this into a fast-paced match and never slowed down. This was an entertaining contest with 3 very capable competitors giving their all. It sometimes felt like they could have taken a bit more time to sell, but it's a minor complaint in the grand scheme of things. The crowd chanted "This is awesome" a couple of times throughout the fight. Felt deserved. All 3 women put in a lot of effort to make it good. It looked like Bayley might win before Lynch rolled her into the backside to get the win. A bit of a bland finish, but I thought on the whole the match leading up to it was really good. Obviously a great story with it all. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Before Blake Monray accompanied Jordan Grace to the ring for her NXT title match against Jane, who had Fallon Henry and Jackson Nix with her. The Juggernaut hit a big right hand and suplexed Jane out of the ring so she could hit a suicide dive to get the match started with a lot of energy. Jane didn't necessarily cheat, but she used some dirty tactics to gain the upper hand and slow the pace down to her liking. While they had a lot of moments that looked great, they also had a few that didn't work out so well. The match as a whole was decent, but had some notable weak points that made it maybe not as good as it could have been. Henley and Nix were taken out by Monray when they tried to help Jane seat, but then she ended up hitting Grace, was about to turn on her as Jane got the assist she needed. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I mean, it was pretty predictable that was coming, wasn't it? But I thought it was still done in a good way and sets up an intriguing episode of NXT on Tuesday. But up until that point, there was some bits, like I said, that could have been improved, so maybe didn't quite deliver on its potential, unfortunately. 5 out of 10. We then got the fatal 4-way for the Women's Tag Championships. Ruka was looking to add a 3rd title to her collection when she and Zara entered the match against Oscar and Kairi Sane, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Sane and Perez began the match. Only 2 competitors were legal, so anyone from any team could tag in at the start. The Pirate Princess almost had the Prodigy beat within the first 30 seconds. Bliss was the most popular star in the match and got the biggest pots when she tagged in whenever she hit a move. With so many people involved, it was impressive how they managed to give everyone enough time. Some had more than others, but it didn't feel like any of them were left out. Some of the double team spots were creative and it felt like everyone hit their sequences. This is a match that won't get as much credit as it deserves. Perez and Rodriguez were able to retain, hitting a powerbomb on Rocco for the win. I thought, it worked well. Obviously maybe Charlotte and Bliss would have wanted higher matches over the card, but it's still great for Ruka and Zara to get a match like this. So I thought it all worked well, how they involved all superstars. 6 out of 10 from me. We then got Tiffany Stratton against Trish Stratus, and the women's title was on the line. The one-time tag partners came into this with a lot of mutual respect. Tiffany had the size and power advantage, so she was able to back Stratus into the corner of these. The veteran relied on her experience to wrestle Stratton to the mat, but she wasn't able to keep the upper hand for long. They traded slaps in a moment that upped the intensity of the fight, and it turned from a friendly encounter into a more competitive bout. The match wasn't bad, but it felt very rehashed at times. It lacked the kind of convincing urgency you'd expect in the bout. It got more competitive over time, but it was still missing something. Stratton got a clean with the prettiest moonsault ever. So gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Before we got Cargo and Naomi, who had one of the better rivalries in WWE, and they were looking to wrap it up with a no-holds-barred match. Bianca Belair served the special guest referee. Naomi tried to attack Cargo in the aisle, but it didn't go as planned, and she ended up being thrown from one barricade to the other. Gunsley got closer to the ring. They used the steel steps to inflict some damage. It didn't take long for them to start finding weapons under the ring to each other. Naomi kicked the Storm to the TV monitor, and it created some sparks and stakes. Blood isn't necessarily a match that makes it feel violent, but with a stipulation like this, WWE's brand of PG violence can restrict how intense they make it. They set up Cargill and hit Jaded from the middle right to put Naomi through it and get the win. This was a good job with what they had, but it felt limited by the stipulations. So unfortunately I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was alright, made Cargill look good, and obviously Naomi had something bigger down the line. Nikki Bella then entered the ring for the Battle Royal to find the number 1 contender for the women's title at Clash in Paris. The match included superstars from all 3 brands. Paxley was about the first one eliminated by Jax about 30 seconds in, and she was followed by D-Dane. Battle Royals that begin with everyone in the ring are always chaotic and hard to follow until it gets narrowed down, so there was a lot happening in each corner. We had some nice spots and eliminations, but this match had a lot of awkward moments and near botches. It's almost unavoidable in a bout like this, but it's unfortunate when they were front and centre. The final 3 competitors were Jax, Vaquer and Lash Legend. Jax was taken out by the other other two, and eventually Legend was eliminated to give Vaca the win. The final couple of minutes was part of this match. It's hard to make a Battle Royal feel unique, but this one was decent enough. So yeah, I'm there at 5 out of 10. I think Vaca winning is probably the right decision over Bella, and a big of a rub for her. Before the main event of the Evolution features Sky defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley, they started slow and paced themselves with simple exchanges. They were playing up mind games and started sizing each other up, but they took a moment to show each other respect before they started throwing strikes. The ref was taken out at one point, so Sky and Ripley fought into the crowd with nobody to count for them out. Sky climbed up onto some production crates and hit a huge crossbody, with left both women destroyed. They had a lot of physicality and made both look like some of the toughest competitors in the companies. It's hard to think of anything they did that didn't let the other make great. The Eradicator kicked out the Overman insult and looked like she was about to make a comeback when Naomi showed up and cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase to make it a triple threat. The Glow sent Ripley into the ring post and her finisher on Sky to get the win and become new world champ. This was fantastic, and the title cash-in was great as well. It was the best way to end the event, and yeah, gets an 8 out of 10 from me. So please for Naomi too. She definitely deserves this opportunity. Overall, Evolution gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, it was a pretty decent show. There were some bits on there that worked really well, some bits that maybe I wasn't quite such a fan of, but I thought it ended on a really high note with that cash-in that worked really nicely. So yeah, on the whole, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me.
That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.